Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm very pleased to welcome back to Yachting International Radio's Cherise Reedman. She is the founder of Pearls of Wisdom. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me back again.
Pleasure. Yeah, you've got some exciting news on the horizon. So let's start with the next event. What's going on?
Next event. Obviously we did an event at the Shard in the UK last year. So this one is also going to be in the UK, but it's in Southampton this time. Beautiful Harbour Hotel, stunning view of the marina, obviously, so we're in yachting. And yeah, same format as before. We're just going to have some guest speakers talking about their experiences. We've got some women speakers this time talking about building businesses after yachting. And then after that, great opportunity to network, share advice, share wisdom, obviously. That's what we're all about. But yeah, we've just opened the guest list for that. We've got a few places still for anybody who wants to come along. Any ex-stews or current stews, if you're on leave, we'd love you to be a part of it.
Your events fill up very quickly.
They do fill up very, very quickly. The events are, when you are a guest, you are a guest. If you are invited, you don't pay a penny. I kind of wine and dine you, and we get to talk about something that you're passionate about. It really is a participation event. It's not just at the back kind of scenario, but it's always fantastic. The women get so much from it, and just it's always a nice opportunity to reconnect with women in and out of the industry.
Well, for those of you that aren't familiar with Pearls of Wisdom, we will make sure that all of the information is below this interview. It is a great place for current crew and those crew, women specifically, that are coming off yachts. Sometimes it's quite difficult when you're in that kind of industry, once you come ashore, to connect with people that understand what you're going through, how you're going through. It's just nice to have sort of a support network, for sure. And that's what Pearls of Wisdom is all about. What's the next exciting news?
The next exciting news, so obviously you've been with us nearly from the beginning, following obviously the progression, and you've always got to remember we're barely a year old as an organisation is concerned. And I desperately want to get all of the amazing speakers, all the advice that's come out of these events to as many people as possible. And that's been a bit of a challenge. Two reasons why that's a challenge. One is because I'm technically inept. I don't really know anything about websites and technology, and also how to do it in a responsible fashion and get it to people that actually need it. So we have developed the website forum device. I guess the best way to describe it. So like a page on Facebook, I guess, and it will be a social forum page. We'll have different advice sets from different issues. So we have finance, health, mental health, what it's like to start up a business. Oh, we've got so much. We're just covering so many different topics, being a mother after leaving. And basically the advice sets are a combination of expert opinion and real life stories from participants at the event. So interviews with women that have been through those experiences. Because that's what Pearls is. We're just passing the information back. Just like your chief stew would pass you advice on how to become a chief stew. These are ex-chief stews saying what you kind of need to do to help yourself make that transition ashore and try and take some of the sting out of it, because it is really tough. But all the women, when we do the events, hopefully they'll come away with the fact that it doesn't matter what one of these issues they face, they do have the power to get over all of these. We are strong cookies, we can do it, but as much help as we can get out there as possible. So I've developed a app that will safeguard people. This is not a business advertising platform. These are women that are in the same boat as you, and they're all going to have the opportunity to connect and talk to each other. We've got a networking part of the platform where you'll be able to see if there's any ex-stews or current stews in your area. That works for whether you're in Barcelona and you want to see who's about and who might be keen to do something together, whether that be a yoga class together, or you're an ex-stew and you want to know if there's any ex-stew mums out there and do a meetup. So one of the big takeaways from last year is all the women wanted to find a way to talk to each other and know where each other's at, because when we leave the industry, we kind of just disappear into the ether. And the main point of Pearls of Wisdom is because everybody just scatters to the wind, the advice for the ladies that are just about to leave or wanting to leave is just not getting back. And that's been the main focus of what I wanted to achieve. It just took a long time to get there, to work out how I was going to do it. As I have said before, like the website was going to launch, but to be honest, it's been a bit of a baptism of fire for me, an educational experience. There's nothing like putting yourself into a situation where you don't know anything to make you grow. So it's been good. I'm relieved we've now got the format and how it's going to work. And for me, because we wanted to touch on different areas like mental health and stuff like that, it was really important that we do it in a way where the women that join the network are kind of protected. Well, I'll protect as much as I possibly can, because I do believe it's quite nice to have a safe space. So that's what it is. It will be kind of a membership, and just like the social pages on Facebook. But all of the information on there, once you're in, it's all geared up to make your life easier. Whether you are a greenie and I'm telling you what you need to kind of do financially to kind of make yourself more stable, or whether how you deal with situations on board because you're brand new, or you're less the industry, you've already started your own business and you're wanting to reconnect with business women and share your knowledge that way. We cover the whole length of a woman's journey in and out of the industry. And hopefully people find it helpful.
From the turnout of every single one of your events so far, I mean, the women there already, you have a very, very solid basis for just purely information at that stage with a website and an app, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with it, like with each of the events, the women have been so engaged, and no joke, every single woman has something to offer another woman in the room. It really is that simple. The struggle for me is how to kind of narrow it all down and then put it in an easy way. So when you come into the membership, you just find what you're looking for. But it has been really quite difficult. And what I really do see myself now is just a facilitator. If you've got some wisdom and you're like, that happened to me and I don't want it to happen to me again, and you or anybody else, we can put that information on there. The dream is with Pearls of Wisdom that we'll be able to support women regardless of whatever they go through, whether that's leaving or trauma on board. This is a membership to kind of give back to your community. The more that you put in as an individual, the more you'll get back. I believe that. It's kind of the pay it forward scenario.
Yeah.
And we've got so many women. There's so many different stages that just want to kind of help out and see where it goes.
I think it's a great idea because there isn't, in a man's world, as they say, there's not a lot of support that is out there specifically for women. And it usually depends upon us to create that support system and support structure. And sometimes, frankly, women aren't so good at that. So it's really nice to see this.
Well, sometimes I probably disagree. Like, given the opportunity, I think women will support each other, but it's how they creating those opportunities to provide that support. And like I said, when you leave the industry, you are scattered to the wind. So how can you support each other when you don't know where each other are? Do you know what I mean? Like, and this hopefully will kind of bring people together, that ladies that still don't want to reconnect with an industry that they had an amazing time and is a big part of their lives, I can still dip into that memory and pass it back. And one of the best things about this whole experience for me is that I get to hang out with Shoes and Chief Shoes again. Not like I want to go back to the industry, but they represent part of my life that sometimes is not people on land don't really understand. It's a very unique industry and it's not like Below Deck. And it's nice to hang out with the women that understand, what that's like and, how the industry changes you as an individual, making you OCD about cleaning, just a sample of it. But, it does change you and then you have to change again. And that connection is really good. And hopefully it will provide the opportunity for more connections to be made. I mean, you were at Palma and a lot of the women that were at Palma really loved when they got together. They didn't realize how many other women were on the island that they hadn't met through their own social circles.
Palma isn't that big. And the yachting industry is tiny. And when you're talking about yachting specifically, we're also talking about a language. The majority speak English. So, we're getting down to this tiny, tiny, tiny niche group that you think would find each other in a country that speaks Spanish. But no.
And I do think, and I mean, I'm hoping with this application, we've worked really hard, so you'll be able to see who's in your area. I think a lot of people are surprised where we're located. And we're not talking about the typical port places. There could be Perth, Western Australia, see who's gone ashore in Antigua. This application will be able to connect. This is not a European thing. This is not just for Brits. This is women
worldwide,
in general that have worked in the industry. And the advice that we have on the platform is universal. It doesn't matter whether you are an Australian. Obviously, there's some of the technical advice when it comes to like obviously tax and the finance stuff, but most of it is just general life advice. It really will hopefully put the right advice at your fingertips.
Cherise, I have to say thank you very much for your time, and remind everybody out there that if you are female in yachting at any stage, now's the time to check out Pearls of Wisdom, see what they have to offer, see if that is something that you're interested in being part of, and we'll make sure that you have all that information at your fingertips. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
My name is Ria. I have been your host. We'll see you again next time.